Hey guys, how you doing? And today I'm going to talk about the recent feature I did for DriveTribe. I do stuff for DriveTribe. Go check it out. Brown Car Guy Tribe on DriveTribe. Or just search for me there. Or I'll of course put a link below in the description of this video to the article I'm talking about, which is of course about the top 10 best ever Suzukis ever sort of thing. Although there's already been some nice interesting comments there with a couple of things maybe that I should have put in that was actually really good shout outs by people. So go check it out there. So it also allowed me to reminisce a little bit about my own history, looking back on Suzukis and stuff like that. Before I get into that, make sure that you are subscribing. I think if you're watching this on a desktop on YouTube, I think down here somewhere there's a logo that's hovering. If you go over there, mouse over that, and the subscribe button will come up. Make sure you subscribe. Even on mobile, just scroll up, hit the subscribe button. If you do that, make sure you hit the bell notifications so you get updates whenever I upload new videos, which is virtually every day. And I hope you're enjoying this content. Do let me know what you think about it. And make sure that you're following me, hashtag Brown Car Guy, on all the social media channels, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything. And of course, browncarguy.com. So coming back to Suzuki. I got fond memories because when I first started out as a motoring journalist, it was way back in 1989. And that was in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. And I can rightfully say that I was the first motoring journalist in Saudi Arabia. There were motoring journalists in the region, but not actually in Saudi Arabia. And I started out writing for the Saudi Gazette and then for Arab News, the two main English newspapers. I think 89 I did Saudi Gazette, and I think in 90 I moved to Arab News. And one of the interesting things, and the reason why I know I was one of the first, is one of the interesting things was trying to get vehicles out of people to review them. And I distinctly remember it because it was quite amusing, the actual conversation with the people at Suzuki. So I went to Suzuki and I said that I introduced myself, and I'm doing this for Saudi Gazette, and I'd like to borrow one of your cars. And they're like, why you want to borrow one of our cars? And I said, because I will make an article and it will go in the newspaper. Oh, okay, I see. So how much this will cost me? And I'm like, no, it doesn't cost you anything. I just need to borrow a car from you. Why you do that? Why? What will happen for you to do that? I said, the newspaper will pay me. Newspaper will pay you? What will they pay me? So this went round in circles for, believe me, quite a while. I don't know if he was pulling my leg or whatever, honestly. Because what was I at the time? Pretty young, let's just say that. And so eventually, to my astonishment, he did come round and he said, yeah, okay. And I said, well, what have you got in? What have you got in as a demonstrator? And he pointed at a white Suzuki Swift GTI. And I'm going to put a picture of that up on my Instagram, so make sure you follow that. I'll put the actual car. I found a picture of it and I'll put that up there. I might have actually put it on the thumbnail for this, maybe, I'm not sure. I'll see if I can do it. If I can, you'll see it. Otherwise, go to my Instagram and you'll definitely see it there. And if you can't find my Instagram, I'll put a link in the description. So that was my introduction to Suzuki. It was jumping into a Swift GTI circa 1989, and what a fantastic little pocket rocket it was. I'm relatively inexperienced at the time, haven't driven that many cars, but I can still, hand on heart, definitely say that that was one of the best cars ever. It was extraordinarily good fun. Slick shifter, tight handling, low down, tight responses, really, really good fun. And then later on I went on to test some more cars with them. I got the Vitara as well. And that was a lot of fun. Took that out with a friend of mine in Saudi. Shout out to Shahir Haki, childhood friend of mine, and as mad about cars as I am. And so we got the Vitara and we went out. Went down to his place actually. He used to live in Saudi City. If those of you that are familiar with Jeddah in Saudi Arabia would know, I think it's still there. And half of it used to be like sand at the time. So we basically just bombed around there and just like went onto the sandy bits and up and down and here and there. And it was a laugh. It was a great little vehicle. And till this day, it remains a fantastic vehicle. I just recently reviewed, and again I'll put the link below, or just search for it on Brown Car Guy, the current Vitara. I actually reviewed the current Vitara when it first came out in Dubai, but that was a different engine. So I've done that review, then I reviewed again here with a different engine. And you know, I gotta say that for the money, in terms of what you get, the packaging, the options, the equipment, and for the money and all. Oops, sorry, I got a notification on there. And all the, you know, what you get for that money is an extraordinary little car, and the space, the comfort, the practicality. Honestly, I would consider having one myself if it wasn't for the Jimny. Now, to be honest, like the Vitara is a more refined, more practical, more everyday normal type of car. It's more car-like, to use want of a better word, better phrase. But the Jimny is more off-roader-like, but it's got, that new Jimny has got so much charm and sheer adorability, if that's a word. If it isn't, I've just made it up. It just wins you over every single time you take it for a drive. And again, I'll put the link to the review below, or search for it on Brown Carguy. I recently reviewed that. And you know, around town, despite the fact that it is an off-roader, it's a body-on-frame vehicle, and you know, it has a little bit of that waywardness that you get with those sort of vehicles, and yet around town it actually proved to be the virtually perfect vehicle for getting around. You know, it's narrow, it's tall, good visibility, no problem with gaps, no problem with curbing, and getting in and out is easy, so it's actually really handy. It's a shame then that it's actually being taken off sale in the UK next year, sadly, because it doesn't quite meet the emissions requirement for that size or that type of car. But hopefully, fingers crossed, they may be bringing it back. I hope so anyway, because certainly they were introducing a hybrid engine in the Suzuki Swift Sport. In fact, I was supposed to go on the launch of that. I think it was next week or week after, and unfortunately, because of this whole coronavirus thing, that's just got cancelled. So I'm really kind of gutted about that. I was really looking forward to trying that Suzuki Swift. It's now a 48 volt, so it's like I think it's like a mild hybrid. I don't know the exact details, but I'm assuming that's the case. But I was looking forward to trying that. Hopefully, at some point over the year, they'll be able to get a vehicle to me, and I'll do a review of that. I'm still keen to try it, and so it does bode well. It means that they are looking at hybridization for engines that will have a lower emission. So then maybe they can put that back in the Jimny and bring it back, and maybe they'll put 2 extra doors in it. Like I said at the end of my review on the Jimny, if it had 4 doors, man, I would be considering that as a family car around London. I really would. So what are the memories? Are very, very fond memories of the Suzuki Alto, Suzuki Maruti 800 as it's known in India, and Alto, and God, I'm talking about like the square boxy one with the little fake vent on the C-pillar. That was probably hiding a seam weld or something like that. I don't know why that was there. There's no reason for it to be, unless it's just a design thing. But it certainly gave it a distinctiveness. It's a blunt front end to it. You know, quite a handsome little car in its own way. And my introduction to that was actually in Karachi in Pakistan when I went over there. And an uncle had one, and he lent it to me to get around in, which was nice of him, except for the fact that it didn't have any seat belts. Didn't have any, when the indicators weren't working. In fact, most of the electronics weren't working. But more worryingly and more precariously than that, the brakes weren't working much either. So a lot of using the gears to slow it down, and occasionally using the handbrake to get it to come to a halt, which, by the way, I discovered that it does actually do pretty good handbrake turns. Not that I did, but it does. Anyway, but you know, despite the fact that this thing was a decrepit old thing falling apart, it was still hilarious fun. And that's why that vehicle is so enduring in the Indian subcontinent, and why it's done so well over the years. It's sensible, it's practical. You can stuff, it's a tiny car. You can stuff 15 people in there. I don't know how, it just happens. And it will squeeze through any gap, and it will just run forever, no matter how little you look after it. So that was a wonderful vehicle. A friend of mine, actually, what he did, he actually wanted to have wide look. Instead of actually doing anything to the wheels, he actually just flipped the wheels the other way around and drove it like that. Madness. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. So check out this article. There it is. There you can see it on the screen. It's on DriveTribe. Go check it out. 10 best Suzukis ever. Let me know what you think of it. Leave comments and stuff there, here, everywhere. Make sure you're following and subscribing to this channel. Tell all your friends, and don't forget to follow #BrownCarGuy. I'll see you tomorrow.